Maher just obliterated Sunny Hostin, and the fallout is wild. Their war of words just hit a boiling point, and Maher's latest takedown has left everyone stunned. But here's the shocker. He's suddenly defending Trump. For years, Maher shredded Trump relentlessly. Now, he's flipping the script in a way no one saw coming. Meanwhile, Hostin and The View have spent months dragging Trump like a bad reality TV villain and their audience loving it. But Trump wasn't about to stay silent. He just clapped back from the campaign trail. And trust me, Trump doesn't do sugarcoating, and he definitely doesn't do silent. So when Sunny Hostin took another jab at him, he fired back, calling her a dummy. Was it petty? Maybe. Or maybe just accurate? Let's be real. Hostin fumbles live on air so often, Trump's comment felt more like a public service announcement. But here's the thing. Take a swing at Trump and you better be ready for a brawl. And just like that, the drama exploded. Hostin clapped back, dragging his legal troubles into the mix. The gloves? Office this feud? Just getting started. Hostin goes for the kill. She does it with the precision of a hitman. Calm, calculated, and ice cold. No theatrics, just razor-sharp takedowns delivered like she's the villain in a Tarantino film. But let's not pretend she doesn't know she's walking on a minefield. Her legal notes are practically a survival kit at this point. If this keeps up, The View might as well rebrand as a courtroom drama, starring Hostin as both prosecutor and defendant. Trump, meanwhile, had bigger things to handle. An election to win, a country to run. Instead of wasting time, he left the fight to his defenders. And shockingly, the one stepping in, Bill Maher. Now this is where things get wild. Bill Maher, yes, Bill Maher, defending Trump against the bombshell allegations from Stormy Daniels. And guess who was riding that scandal like a warhorse? Sunny Hostin, leading the charge with her signature anti-Trump fury. But here's the twist. If Hostin were the legal mastermind she claims to be, she would have caught the glaring contradictions in Daniels' story. It's not some high-stakes courtroom puzzle, it's basic due diligence. But that's the thing about woke culture. It doesn't care about facts. It clouds judgment, fuels outrage, and turns revenge into a spectator sport. Who needs truth when you can just double down on bias and let the mob do the rest? Bill Maher didn't just call out Sunny Hostin, he obliterated her. His message? Her never-ending anti-Trump tirades aren't tearing him down. They're building him up. Every meltdown, every dramatic rant just solidifies his support. At this rate, she's basically his campaign manager. Maher torched her obsession with Trump's legal battles, calling them glorified witch hunts in courtroom drag. Stormy Daniels? Really? That's the smoking gun? The scandals feel more like a scripted soap opera than actual justice. And when all else failed, Hostin went nuclear. Not on Trump, but on his voters. Because when you can't win the argument, just attack the people. Desperation never looked so obvious. Runs out of ammo, they turn their guns on the people. That's the rule. If you don't fall in line, you're the problem. Your opinions? Invalid. Your choices? Unacceptable. And Sunny Hostin played that card to perfection, setting her sights on the millions who dared to vote for Trump. Her argument? His legal battles should have sent his supporters running, but reality hit different. Instead of abandoning him, they doubled down. Every indictment, every courtroom circus only cemented their loyalty. Why? Because Trump didn't just pitch policies, he sold a revolution. He made himself the ultimate outsider, the man taking on a system rigged against the everyday American. And his people ate it up. To them, the lawsuits weren't evidence of corruption, they were proof that the establishment would do anything to take him down. But instead of trying to understand why his base is rock solid, Hostin did what the woke elite always do: mock, dismiss, and vilify. And guess what? It backfired spectacularly. But we'll get to that later. First, didn't sugarcoat it. People aren't rallying behind Trump because they idolize him. They're choosing him over the woke circus that's turned basic values into battlegrounds. It's simple. One side is focused on border security and economic relief. The other, pushing for kids to make life-altering decisions without parental consent. Not exactly a tough call for most voters. Maher torched the insanity. Biological men dominating women's sports, cancel culture running wild, and a movement so obsessed with grievance that Trump now looks like the sane one. And he's got a point. While the woke elite argue over pronouns, everyday Americans are struggling with crime, inflation, and real problems. Trump's unfiltered, no-nonsense approach, it's landing harder than ever. And Hostin, she thought she was taking him down. Instead, she walked straight into the biggest humiliation of her career.
Only about.
Did Sunny Hostin just throw her own husband under the bus? Oh, you bet she did. And if you believe in karma, grab your snacks because this is delicious. Just 2 months ago, Sunny was on The View, smugly torching Trump over his so-called legal troubles. Meanwhile, she conveniently forgot to mention the little scandal brewing in her own house, her husband allegedly dipping his toes into insurance fraud. Oops. But that's peak woke hypocrisy, isn't it? Shout about justice while your own backyard is on fire. Sunny was too busy obsessing over Trump's tax returns to notice her own husband's fraud receipts. The irony is almost impressive. And let's not forget her favorite game, pointing out the speck in Trump's eye while ignoring an entire Home Depot lumber aisle in her own. If hypocrisy were a sport, she'd be collecting gold medals like it's the Olympics. Maybe next time, she'll spend less time virtue signaling and more time making sure her inner circle isn't drowning in scandal. But if you think that's where karma stopped, oh, you have no idea. What happened next will blow your mind.
Wow.
Oh, you heard right. While Sunny Hostin's been blasting Trump, her own household is crumbling. Forget just insurance fraud. Her husband is now allegedly tangled in RICO charges. Yes, RICO, the kind of crime you see in mob movies, not suburban mansions. And guess who might be in court more than Trump? Not the former president. If these charges hold, Hostin's husband could be swapping suits for prison jumpsuits. The irony is almost too perfect. While she rants about Trump's legal troubles, her own world is spiraling. And with Trump back in power, she might want to tread carefully. But here's where it gets wilder. Ever notice that everyone who comes for Trump or Maher ends up humiliated? Remember when Whoopi Goldberg tried to come for Maher? No? Well, this will remind you.
And I think he's forgetting that people are still at risk who cannot get vaccinated. People who can't get that. Little kids under the age of 5.
Yeah.
Or people with health conditions. How dare you be so flippant, man?
Bill Maher did the unthinkable. Gasp. Whoopi Goldberg erupted, treating his words like a personal attack on humanity. You'd think he told people to start licking subway poles. She came at him with full force, like a knight defending the last stronghold of pandemic panic. But here's the kicker. Maher wasn't spewing conspiracies. He was just stating facts. Yet in Whoopi's world, logic is blasphemy if it doesn't align with the approved narrative. And karma? Oh, it wasn't done with her. Not long after her meltdown, she got hit with a scandal of her own, suspended from The View over a Holocaust remark that shattered the internet. And the wildest twist? Maher, the very guy she attacked, defended her, saying the punishment went too far. Talk about poetic justice.
Stop saying.
All right, let's skip the reruns and get straight to the point. Every time Sunny Hostin or Whoopi Goldberg takes a shot at Donald Trump or Bill Maher, it blows up in their faces. Call it karma, call it irony, either way, it's hilarious. Take Hostin, for example. After months of tearing into Maher and Trump, guess who's suddenly in the hot seat? Her own husband is now entangled in one of the biggest lawsuits in New York. Talk about a plot twist. Now, let's be real, Maher and Trump aren't untouchable. They're on opposite sides politically and aren't exactly besties. But here's the catch. They both tend to call it like they see it. And in the end, truth has a way of winning. Meanwhile, Hostin and her husband? Let's just say their next big showdown won't be on The View, it'll be in court. Hostins aren't just fighting back. They're going full Hollywood with legal heavyweights Mark Garagos and Daniel Thwaites. But they're not just denying the fraud claims. They're hitting back with a $5 million countersuit for defamation and emotional distress. Because if you're gonna go down, might as well make it explosive. And Sunny? She's crying smear campaign, claiming her spotless reputation is under attack. But let's be real. How clean can you be when your husband is allegedly running insurance scams? The real kicker? Sunny built her career roasting other people's legal disasters, and now she's the one drowning in scandal. Even Bill Maher might have given her the best advice of her life. Who doesn't have moments they regret? Well, Sunny, you spent years playing judge and jury. Now the courtroom drama is yours. Karma? Oh, it's serving up a 5-star feast.
The exception.
Even when he's feeling generous, Bill Maher just can't help himself. He had to slip in a jab at Sunny Hostin. And honestly, who can blame him? Hostin has practically turned slavery into her brand. If there's a conversation happening, you already know she'll find a way to loop it back to America's dark past. Sure, the topic is important, but at what point does it stop being insightful and start feeling like a broken record? Maher's dig? It wasn't just shade, it was exhaustion. A not-so-subtle, We get it, Sunny. America has sins. But do you have literally anything else to say? And here's where the plot twist kicks in. After spending years hammering America over its history, Sunny just uncovered some deep, unsettling truths about her own ancestry. And let's just say, the irony is delicious. Buckle up. This one's about to get messy. The irony! Sunny Hostin, who spent years blasting America's past, just got hit with a brutal history lesson. Her own ancestors were slave owners. You can almost see the shock on her face. For someone who built a career on moral lectures, this revelation must have felt like a gut punch. It's like finding out the head of PETA owns a steakhouse. History has a funny way of humbling people, and this is a full-on mic drop moment. Maybe it's time for Sunny to ditch the lectures and take a long, hard look in the mirror. Maybe, just maybe, if she had shown even a hint of grace toward Trump's past, people would be willing to cut her and her husband some slack, now that they're knee-deep in legal quicksand. But nope, Hostin was too busy playing lead prosecutor in the never-ending trial of Trump, digging into his past like she was auditioning for CSI Political Vendetta. And now, Karma just walked in wearing stilettos and sipping a martini, because nothing screams poetic justice like the moral high horse bucking you off the second you get too comfortable. Maher's message is crystal clear. A little self-awareness goes a long way. But Hostin, instead of checking her own skeletons, she practically handed them front row tickets to their own scandal parade. That's all for today, folks. If you loved the drama, hit that like button and subscribe for more unfiltered commentary. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Trust me, this is one discussion you don't want to miss.